Hey, what's up guys? Dave here with Deranged Off-Road, coming to you from lovely southern Utah where the weather is fine. Today I decided to do a video. Well, I thought I was going to do like a 3,000 mile review on this thing. Apparently I hadn't looked at the odometer recently. I only have 2,250 miles on here. So I haven't driven as far as I thought. So we're going to do a 2,200 mile review slash top things I like, top things I don't like, slash this unit is probably going to get sold soon. So maybe a little bit of a farewell video to this thing. Alright, so let's get into it. One of the top things I like about this machine is its size. It's kind of a double-edged sword a little bit, but I really like the size of the Maverick Sport. It feels very nimble. Feels like a go-kart when you're driving it. It just zips around. It's easy to get in and out and over obstacles, and it's very easy to turn around on the trail. You're not worried about this thing running over stumps behind you or logs or dragging or anything like that. So yeah, one of the top things I like is the size of this thing. The next thing I really like about this Maverick Sport 1000R is the power. I feel like it's got a really good power to weight ratio. I don't ever feel like I'm really lacking for power in this machine. It goes as fast as I want it to go. I think I've hit 74 miles an hour. Maybe it goes faster, I don't know. I've never tried to see what the top speed was. Third thing on this machine I really like is the overall fit and finish. The doors on this thing are awesome. There's no gaps on the interior where dust is billowing through. You can't see the ground anywhere. Like some other machines, you can look through the gear shift and see the ground, or behind the seats there's holes you can see the ground. Overall fit and finish of this machine, in my opinion, is one of the best. The next thing on here that I like is ease of maintenance. It's pretty easy on here. Rear diff, very accessible. Front diff, very accessible. Clutch, very accessible. The hardest thing to get to on here is the oil filter. You got to remove the seats, which pop right out. There's a panel back there that pops right out. And then you kind of have to reach back there with your arm, and you got to find 3 blind screws to pull the cap off. That's the hardest part. Honestly, if I were to keep this longer, I think I would go with a Mr. RPM adapter, so you can put a spin-on filter on there, or maybe an oil filter relocation kit. But overall, the ease of maintenance on here has been great. The air filter, oh, what a snap to get that to. That's easy. And honestly, it doesn't suck a whole lot of dust. The next thing I really like on this machine is the smart lock feature. It works great. Never had a problem with it. It's been flawless for me. If I want to lock in the front diff, you just hit that button, it locks it. You got 4 wheels spinning no matter what. You want to use it on the trail type stuff, it does a really good job in giving you traction more when you want it and less when you don't need it. I use it all the time, out in the sand dunes, that kind of thing. I feel like Can-Am really has the smart lock dialed down. I've never had an issue with it, so that's one of the top features I really like on this machine. Alright, let's take a look at the flip side. Some of the things I don't like about this machine. And starting off, number one is the size. I like it small, but also when you get inside, it's a little cramped. You get 2 guys in there and you bump elbows a little bit when you're strapping your seatbelts on. You'll bump knees, you know, when you're shifting into gear, you're gonna be touching his knee. You get 2 guys in there, 250 pounders, and it's definitely a little on the cramped side. And that's gonna go for all the Maverick Sports and Commanders. The second thing on my list of things I do not like about the Maverick Sport is the noise. This thing is loud. it's very uncomfortably loud. After a couple hours, if I don't have my headsets on, I don't want to be in it anymore. I usually have a headache, and I just want to be done. The next thing on my list of do not likes is the suspension on this. I've griped on it a lot. Basically every video I've done similar to this, I am always hammering that the suspension on these Maverick Sports, as far as ride quality, is very subpar. Some people disagree with me, and I know the majority agree. It's very stiff. It will rattle your fillings out. A lot of people go and unhook the sway bars and think that makes a big difference. They take out some preload and think that makes a difference. I've done all that. I didn't feel like either one of those really made much of a difference in the ride quality. So I went with Schmitty Racing suspensions. We did a dual rate setup on there, revalved everything, and I will say the suspension is 100%, 100 times better than what it was. The little small choppy stuff is not a big deal anymore. It's a pretty comfortable ride all day long, where before, after half a day of choppy, rocky stuff, you're kind of over it and you're kind of done riding at that time. The other thing with the suspension on this is it seems like I always got one tire, one front wheel, one back wheel is always in the air, no matter what. You know, it's like it's just waving to everybody when it gets a chance. I feel like the shocks are probably topped out all the time, and there's no flex, no articulation. Removing the front and rear sway bar can help a little bit with that. But since I did it's better now, but since I did the suspension from Schmitty, they don't ride so high in the stroke, I don't think. So I get a little bit more articulation, but that front wheel still does make an appearance, more than I like. My next thing I have that I don't really like about this machine is the lack of storage space. I will say I think it's probably better than the X3, but the thing's pretty cramped inside, and you get a little storage on the top dash and then in the passenger, in front of the passenger. So I've gone ahead and I've ordered everything Can-Am offers as far as storage. I got the shoulder bag, I got the overhead bags, I got the door bags for each side. And with all of that, I feel like we got the storage handled pretty good. So they do make, you know, things that alleviate storage problems, but that ain't cheap, and it's just more things you gotta spend. All right, so the big question is, knowing now what I didn't know then when I bought this, would I buy this machine again? It's kind of a hard question to answer. Strictly looking at money, I think there's other options out there that you might get more bang for your buck, like the KRX. You get a lot for $20,499 with the KRX. This is $22,699. I honestly feel like this is a couple $1,000s too much. I mean, you can say that about everything. Everything's costing too much now. But overall, I love the machine. It's great, but I think I want to move on to something else. I don't know when that's going to be, but this is going up for sale soon. And I don't know, maybe Can-Am will come out with something else this year. Maybe they'll completely remap the X3. That'd be cool. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. I don't know if Deranged will be buying another machine this year. We just got done with the Pro XP, which I don't think you've seen yet at this point. Depending on video release, maybe you have, maybe you haven't. I don't know. I think there's a couple other machines I might buy over this one. But overall, it's been a great machine. I've put $0 into it to fix anything. I put plenty of money in accessories to make it how I want it, and that's one of the biggest things right there. Is it's $22,000 to make the ride bearable. You got to spend another $15,000 to $2,000, so you're at almost $25,000, and it still doesn't ride as good as like a KRX or something. After 2,200 miles, I've had 0 issues with it. It's been bulletproof. It's been a fun ride, but it's going to go to another home soon, I believe. So I don't know what that means as far as range off-road, having 3 or 4 machines. We're probably not going to buy anything anytime soon. So you'll probably just see me with either the Pro XP, the KRX, or the Honda Talon from here on out for a while. So we don't really need 4 machines in the mix at this point. So time to let this one go. It's been a fun ride, and I've really enjoyed it.